All right, we're live. Somebody remind me to stop the broadcast at the end. Do you have Renee on Facebook Messenger? Can you shoot her a message and see? Oh, wait. Okay, she might have gotten stuck at work. Do you know if Miranda was going to be on right at 6?
She should be, yeah.
Can you shoot her a message and see if she's used her link, if she can see it? Maybe I will. People are seeing my big feet. I haven't started recording that one yet. All right, we'll get started, but I just want to, I suppose we're recording it, so if people come on live, they can catch up.
I did something to Renee too, just in case.
Okay. So we have team all over the country, and so Google Hangout, if you end up building a team and you have people all over the country, Google Hangout is an excellent resource to connect with your leaders and having group events. Did you ever figure out your phone? Did you ever figure out your phone or your iPod? No? When I saw the post, I'm like, I can relate to those technological challenges.
Yeah, no.
Renee said
She's running late. Oh no. Deb. Oh, Deb was going to be on.
That's what she said.
Okay. And I know Angie Heim up in Gaylord was going to be on. All right. Well, we'll just record it. We kind of thought about that after the fact anyways, so. All right, welcome everybody. I'm glad to see so many faces here in the room. For those who don't know me, I think everybody pretty much does, but I'm Julie Hatfield, and I'm a platinum leader with Young Living Essential Oils. And Elaine and I actually thought about doing a business opportunity class like this back when we had the opportunity to go to Mastermind, which is an event that was down in Orlando, back in Florida, back in November in obviously Florida. And when we were coming back, we started thinking about it. And for us personally, we started this whole journey because we wanted to use the products. And in turn, it led to loving our products, being passionate about it, sharing with other people. And it turned into something we weren't even looking for, but a business for both of us. And one of the things that became evident at Mastermind, and Mastermind is a network marketing event. It's a 3 days? Mm-hmm. A 3-day event, but it's generic network marketing. So it's completely, you can't do any recruiting. You don't wear anything with your company's name on it. It's all generic. And it's just great information for network marketing as a career or as a business. And on the way back home, we started talking about it, and we're like, we love our products, and that's always kind of the standpoint or the perspective that we come from, but there might be other people that are looking for a business opportunity, okay? And so we thought, why don't we have a business opportunity meeting? We've done business builder classes in the past that get more in depth with the business. Those are generally kind of tailored to people who have already decided they want to do this. And we thought, let's have a business opportunity meeting that we can just talk about the business opportunity. We know that everybody knows that our products are great, so that's not what we're here to talk about. We wanted to talk about the business side. So that's kind of why we formulated this and set it up and wanted to get everybody in the same room. So just briefly about me and my history. I'm a physician assistant for the last 10 years. I've been in interventional radiology at Bronson Hospital. Loved my job, but I'll tell you this much. 10 years of losing my patients really wore on me. So my position was very unique. I was doing procedures typically on end of life or terminal patients. So by the time I would meet my patients, they already had a terminal disease. And I would do my procedures weekly, sometimes twice a week for months and sometimes years. And I would get to know my patients really well, and I get to know their families, and we would talk about bucket lists, and we'd go through all of that. And there was this feeling of helplessness, knowing that I could not change their outcome. Like I could not fix what was going on with them. And it was a big struggle. And I'm the type that, was at the funerals and I'd be crying with the families. And it was really hard for me not to put myself in their shoes and say, this could be my spouse, or this could be me, or this could be my mom or my dad. So really hard. And, over the years, it kind of took its toll. I actually got into this business to help my husband with some just medical issues that he has. And so I got into it for totally different reasons. Like I said, I got into it for the product first. And then when I saw how the amazing results we were getting, I just couldn't stay quiet. I mean, I wanted to help my friends and family. And it just kind of spiraled and snowballed, and it grew a life of its own. And I finally feel like I'm so passionate about it because I have an avenue to focus on preventative health. I can help people now before it's become terminal. And to see all the different things that have come out of this business, it has just been extremely rewarding and life-changing for me. And so I actually left the hospital in March. So I now do this full time. I don't do it full time. I don't have full-time hours, but it's the only job that I'm doing right now. And so it's just been it's been a blessing, and to see the changes and the ways that Young Living has blessed other people's lives that are on our team has been really cool. So thanks for coming tonight. Give us some feedback at the end, because this is kind of the first time that we're doing this. I did want to talk to you guys just about network marketing in general first, because network marketing kind of got a negative kind of a negative reputation because of, Amway kind of set the tone for that. And it really isn't the case. I mean, this is a true career option for people. It's a legitimate business model. And with work and whatever you want to put into it, you'll get out of it. And so I wanted to share with you, Eric Worre is network marketing pro. He does a lot of generic network marketing training and gives a lot of good information. But I wanted to share with you, and this was some of the things he said. With a traditional business owner, you have to have a product or a service. You have to put in an investment into your company. There's a commitment. You have to be an expert or have expertise in that area. You have to do sales. You have to have a customer service. You have to have an inventory. There's regulatory issues. There's legal issues, and then human resources. And so when you look at what goes into owning your own small business, which you understand that, it's very different than network marketing. So a network marketing business, the product and service is provided. So we already have our product and we know it's the best out there. So you don't even have to worry about that. Very low startup cost. So when you get your starter kit for $160 and you start your account, you now can have a business. Okay. I mean, what kind of business can you start for $160? Flexible commitment. So there's some in here that are still working and doing this. There are some that are stay-at-home moms and doing this. You can put as many hours into it every week or as few hours into it every week. It's flexible and it's all up to you. There's training provided. So there's scripts. You can get information from your upline. There's boot camps we can plug you into to give you all your information. Sales, we don't have to worry about sales rate. We just share and people come back asking what it is that we gave them. Customer service is provided. And if anybody's dealt with customer service, we have one of the best customer service teams around that I've ever dealt with. The company manages the inventory, so you don't have to have anything on hand. Regulatory issues are taken care of, as well as legal issues, and you don't have any employees. Okay, it's great. I mean, everybody on our team, we're all like colleagues. Everybody has their own business, but we could all work together and collaborate. And when you say team, together everyone achieves more. So that's the difference between, having your own business and then having a network marketing business. And so the average business startup cost in the United States is $65,000. And then the expectation is that you will have to work full-time for 3 years before you break even and then start earning a profit. So with Young Living, and I mean, I've only been in this since when I started doing the business was August of last year. So like almost a year and a half. So very big difference. And I wanted to share too, so the global direct selling did $182 billion in sales in 2014. So direct selling is a huge avenue for people in the world. You know, hi there. Also, the global sales force in 2014. So the numbers of representatives out there doing direct sales was almost 100 million. Okay, so that's how many people that are doing this. The average commission given to distributors among all marketing company or direct sales companies is 40%. Okay, and we know that Young Living has the most lucrative compensation plan, and that's because they give 50% back to their distributors. But if you just use the average, which is 40%, and you take the $182 billion in sales in 2014, and you take 40% of that, that is $72.8 billion a year, or that means $200 million of commission is paid out per day. Okay, so there's a lot of money. It's a legitimate business plan, and it's extremely rewarding for different perks that that's specific for everybody's life and what they're looking for. So just the essential oil market, though, I wanted to share these with you. So the global essential oil market is expected to reach 11.67 billion by 2022, and that's up from 5.5 billion in 2014. So it's going to double, and it's going to be up to 11.6 billion in 7 years. Okay, we're in 2016 now. So, and part of that, there's two main reasons why that is. And first, there's a growing consumer awareness that regarding health benefits associated with essential oils and essential oil infused supplements. And I'm sure you guys are starting to see that now if you're starting to talk to people. I really do think that people are losing faith a little bit in modern medicine, and are starting to do a little research of their own, and they're starting to hear more about essential oils. So I do think people are looking for alternatives. I do think pharmaceuticals are getting more and more expensive, especially with insurance changes and people's policies, and the co-pays are going up, and so people are looking for alternatives. So I think that's one reason why the essential oil market is going to exponentially expand in the next 7 years. But the other is there's a growth of organic product industry that's prompted people to start ditching toxins and start to find all natural solutions. So that's very evident in Earth Fare coming to Kalamazoo. Even Myers and Costco, they're carrying all kinds of organic products. So I just think that's a little bit of a shift in our country right now in terms of trying to look for more organic, natural solutions. So, so just a little bit about Young Living and how special our company is. And some of these tools that I'm giving you are great to kind of have in your back pocket when talking to other people about Young Living and their essential oils. So it takes an exorbitant amount of plant matter to get the essential oils. Okay, and because of that, there are companies all over the world that are synthetically making their essential oils because the demand is higher than the supply. Okay, and so you now will have people questioning you about the price of your oils versus what they can find in, like, say, the health food store. And there's a lot of pearls that I'll use, like the expiration dates. Having Young Living does first distills only versus some companies do second, third, fourth, and complete distills. So their essential oil products are much more dilute and they're not pure, and then oftentimes are full of synthetics as well. So with Young Living, that started over 2 decades ago. Gary Young started it from a remote farm in Idaho with a homemade pressure cooker in the kitchen. So it was started with very humble beginnings. It's grown into we're a worldwide leader in pure therapeutic grade oils. So these are not synthetically made in the lab. And we do over $1 billion in revenue annually. We have a presence with markets and farms all around the globe. So having our seed to seal motto and having our farms all over the world kind of sets that stage. We're a purpose-driven company. For those that have been a part of Young Living a little bit longer, you guys know that. We're all about bringing greater wellness and abundance to people all over the world. And that's our goal. Our goal is actually to get essential oils into every home on earth. And in 2014, our active members and sales more than doubled. And I know that 2015 was growing just as fast. So it's a great time to kind of get involved and, you know, share what you do know. I still remember distinctly talking to this one, and she's like, I'll never know what you know. I'm so nervous. And now she talks about essential oils, and she has her testimonies, and she shares all the time. And so I remember thinking when I had my first class here last August, like, and it was because people were bugging me. I'm like, fine, come over, I'll have a class. It was my very first one. I'm like, we'll just sit in the basement and I'll share what I know. And at that point, I didn't really feel like I knew much. And there was 27 people down here, and they're all like soaking it up and like, tell me more, I want to learn more. And so you really be surprised at how much you learn, how fast you pick it up. If you're using the oils, I would say be a product of the product. If you're using the oils, you'll have your testimonies. We always say facts tell, but stories sell. And maybe you have a testimony for using a certain oil. That's what people want to hear. So, you know, nature's provided us with everything we need to survive and thrive on Earth. And so these plants, we use the essential oils. They've been around longer than we have. They've been around since they're documented in the Bible. They gave frankincense, myrrh, and gold to baby Jesus. And so, you know, we know how they're used like food, and even, or plants used as food and shelter, but now they're used, you know, we're starting to learn more about the essential oils that are in these plants. So essential oils are highly concentrated aromatic essences of trees, shrubs, herbs, grasses, resins, and flowers. They're greaseless, so they're not like the other oils that you have in your pantry. And they're great for supporting all of our body systems and keeping our bodies healthy. So, and they're no different than being the plant's natural defense mechanisms about nature. That's why there's therapeutic properties for us. So on average, each essential oil contains hundreds of molecular constituents. So we always say with lavender, and we call it the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. And why lavender is good for so many different things is when the plant material is distilled, there's over 250 constituents in the plant material. So each constituent's good for different systems in our body. So that's why lavender is good for so many different things. There are some essential oil companies, and there's some plant material or wood that you have to distill for a very long time to get all of the key constituents. And there are some essential oil companies that will, want to say, cut corners, but they will shorten the length of the distillation, and because of more of a time is money kind of thing. And then if you don't get some of those key constituents, the oil is very different. So one oregano might not be equivalent to the other oregano. And even if you did an experiment in Young Living, took oregano and distilled it for the appropriate amount of time, and then distilled it for maybe half of the length of time, the constituents in the oil would be very different, and it would function very differently. Okay. The key to producing therapeutic grade oils is to preserve as many of those delicate compounds as possible. And they talk about it like a symphony. So when you have all of the different musical instruments playing, you have to have everybody in tune and playing all at once, and it sounds beautiful. So having all of those constituents in that oil makes the oil the therapeutic grade and the most effective for our bodies. So I always like to kind of remind people when they're using that not all essential oils are created equal. Okay. And then that's why you like to have some of those pearls in your back pocket of why you and the research you've done would only recommend using Young Living essential oils. So Young Living is the oldest, most trusted and well-respected essential oil company in the world. We have 25 plus years of research and experience. We're the only essential oil company with our own farms. So we all know the whole seed to seal. So we're involved from the time the seed gets planted until a bottle of essential oil is sealed. Very important to kind of know where your products come from. We do not use any third parties or outsource any of our plant material. We don't use any agrochemicals, so no Roundup. We actually hand weed all of our crops, or we use our essential oils for the insecticides, harvesting at peak times only. So having that seed to seal is big. You know, it's kind of the whole philosophy of knowing thy farmer and, you know, getting your fruits and vegetables from a local organic farmer. So the seed to seal is a huge thing. So I know I actually had the opportunity to be in part of what we call winter harvest, or harvesting the balsam fir. So this was back last January, so almost a year ago. And you get to go to the farm. There was only 30 of us, and we spent the week with Gary Young. And you get to be out in the field. You get to cut down the trees. You get to put the trees through the chippers. You get to take the chips back to the distillery and put the chips into these huge distillation vats. And then you get to stomp them down because you don't want to get a steam effect or a chimney effect when you turn the steam. And then you get to go down in the basement and you watch the oil actually distill out. And then you get to test it and you get to bottle it. And to see that whole seed to seal process is extremely eye-opening in what goes into making these amazing essential oils. And had it been planting season, they would have also had us out planting. So Young Living is extremely passionate about reforestation. So for every tree we take down, we plant a minimum of 2, but sometimes upward to 5 or 6 trees. So just a big eye-opener to the whole process and how important every step is. And it's just really neat to be involved firsthand. So and Winter Harvest is open to anybody. In fact, you could have booked trips this winter to go in January and February. If anybody can ever get to a Winter Harvest or any of the Young Living farms, everybody is welcome to visit a farm. You can just stop in. They'll show you what's happening, the whole distillation process, and it's just pretty remarkable. So when we started actually using the products, and because I started just because of personal uses, but I know for myself, I've struggled with thyroid function, and I started using 2 of their products, and it was pretty life-changing for me in terms of how I felt. I know that we use Thieves on our girls' feet every single night. You know, they're 3.5 and they go to preschool, and our girls stay pretty healthy. So I like being able to support their immune system naturally, and knowing that they're never getting sick, so we're not needing to give them anything else. Todd, my husband, has had some significant results as well, has been able to get off pharmaceutical medications and feel better because the essential oils that he's chosen is supporting some of his body systems. So and emotional support. So essential oils are fabulous for emotional support too. And I'm sure you guys find this with family and friends and your network, but for the most part, you'll see I hear a lot of people on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications, and so some of these essential oils are great for supporting emotions. So kind of keep that in hand too. All right. So by a raise of hands, I always like to use this as an example, but how many of you listen to a family or friend's recommendation on a good restaurant, a good book, a good movie to go see, a good, anything to purchase at the store, a computer? I mean, how many times everybody, right? We all we give recommendations. That's not my kids coming down the stairs, is it?
No. Okay. I think they're trying. You can hear them calling your name.
Yeah, right. Okay. And so that's what, when we talk about network marketing, I always like to kind of use that as an example, because it is no different than what we do all the time. And we say, we had a great meal, check out this restaurant, or this was a great book or a great movie. There are a couple chairs there if you want to just grab those. And so we do it all the time, except Kalamazoo 10 doesn't call you up and say, here's some money because you referred your mom and dad to this movie, or, right. Or, Harlan Coben doesn't call you up and say, hey, your sister bought my book and here's a kickback. And so by referring and sharing about Young Living, you are actually just getting a thank you check for referring something you're passionate about to begin with. Okay. So 92% of people trust recommendations from people they know versus other forms of advertising. So, and when something works for you and you trust the brand, it's very easy to share. And if you haven't had experience with the oils yet, just trust us in saying that you'll love them. Everybody else will love them. So, and our mission is to bring these products in every home in the world and reward our members for sharing Young Living with their friends and family and network, and building a global community of wellness. All right, so we're gonna do this visualization. There's a lot of good stuff about visualization and guided imagery and that kind of thing. So I want everybody to close your eyes. Just get comfortable. You put your hands in your lap. And just, no falling asleep. All right, just gather yourself, close your eyes, put your head down, however you're comfortable. and block the footsteps upstairs and screams. And picture yourself, they're going to be my assistants one day, by the way. Picture yourself opening up an envelope, came from Young Living, and you receive a check for $1,000. What are you going to do with that money? What's the first thing you are going to do with that money, and how will it impact your life? So now you've moved up a rank in Young Living, maybe 2 ranks. You get your next check. It's $3,000. And you realize that you will be getting a check for $3,000 each and every month. January, February, March, April, and so on. What are you going to do with that money? Are you going to fix the car? Maybe retire your spouse? Maybe save money for a college tuition? Acknowledge how that makes you feel. So now you've moved up another rank. You go to the mailbox, you get your check, it's $8,000. You realize you're going to be receiving that check of $8,000 each and every month. Then $15,000. Very good possibility. Then $30,000 every month. Then $50,000. Picture receiving a check for $50,000 every single month for the rest of your life. All right, open your eyes. We did this kind of thing at Winter Harvest. And at that point in time, I was like, my first business class, or my first class where I shared with people was only like 4 months before that. And it evokes a lot of emotions. You know, for me at the time, I was at the hospital. There's no flexibility when you work at a hospital. I'm expected to be at the hospital all day long. So if my nanny called and one of my kids was sick, it wasn't like I could just tell my patients, I can't do your procedure today, I've got to go. So for me, that was probably what hit home the most. There were times I came home and I get the report about everything my kids did for the day, and I felt like somebody else was raising my girls, and I felt like I was missing out on all those fun times. So that was probably what hit me the most when I did this activity at Winter Harvest. But acknowledge how that made you feel when you started visualizing what the potential could be. Go home and write down some things that kind of stuck out for you. Another good one is to kind of do the top 25 of things that you will do when you hit certain ranks. Okay, so one of the things we had to do was make a list of the top 25 things you will do when you hit diamond. And we'll talk about that in just a second with the comp plans, which I don't think I have down here. So, and see, I'm still crazy because I race around with my kids all day to get things ready. And I do want to just start out, and some of you guys have more experience because you have been doing this already. But for those that haven't, the compensation plan is confusing, or there's just a lot to it, and it takes you a little bit to get a handle on that. Shucks. All right. So the compensation plan is confusing, but just kind of basics. So when you introduce somebody to Young Living and they have their own account, you get a sign-up bonus. It's a $25 sign-up bonus. And you get what's called the Fast Start bonus. So you earn 25% for the first 3 months of their membership. Okay. So if somebody just got the PSK, which we know is 100 PV, it would be another $25. So you get $50 for every single person that you introduced to Young Living. And it can get confusing, but you get paid commissions 5 levels down. So you get 8% on people directly underneath you, 5% under people underneath them, 4% of people underneath them, 4% under them, 4% under them. So you get paid 5 levels down. And we talk about network marketing, we talk about residual income. Okay, Young Living is a product that people use consistently. So it's different than some other network marketing companies. And so you will find that when your members love their products, that they will order on a regular basis because they've incorporated it into their lifestyle. Okay, so you will have a residual income, and that's what accounts for all of those percentages. The income disclosure statement. So let me see if I can pull it up on here so that we can. Was it getting uncomfortable?
It's on this page.
Oh,
It really wasn't an option.
right.
Nobody says no to Sarah.
Okay, my computer's, it's probably because I'm trying to record too.
Yeah, we got them under control.
Sounds like it. It was a good thing. Sounded like it was a bit of a meltdown there for a while. All right, so just to kind of give an idea of income potential with Young Living, I wanted to just kind of talk to you guys about the different levels. So the first level that you are at is Star. So that's when you have an overall group volume. That is your order for the month, and anybody else on your team is at 500 PV. And so just to kind of give you an idea, the average Star might work 5 hours a week. And their average monthly check is maybe $73. Which equates to $876 in a year. So, I mean, they're getting some of their oils paid for, which is kind of nice. Senior Star is the next level. That's an OGV of 2,000. And they might spend 7 hours a week on work and be getting a monthly check of $261, a yearly check of $3,132. So, you know, maybe like a little family trip. And then the next level is executive. It's the kind of the first level you hit that you're actually starting to be a business builder, because you have to have 2 legs at that point. So executive is OGV of 4,000 with 2 legs of 1,000 each. And so you have 2 business builders that are also underneath you driving some of that business. The average executive, and keep in mind these are averages, so they can be above and below. The average executive's monthly check is $617, and the annual, which equates to $7,400 in a year. So I know we have some executives in here, soon to be silvers, right? You're working on silver. Franny's working on silver. Any other executives? All right, so that's very doable. And then silver, kind of the next level up is you increase your OGV, so you have to have 10,000, and you just build those 2 legs a little bit bigger. So they end up with 2 legs of 4,000 each. And that average monthly check is $2,335, which equates to $28,000 a year. So now, I mean, you have a lot of people that have either, I mean, that might have been they've replaced their income. So they might quit their job and do this, or maybe it's a supplement to their income or what they're doing, or maybe they're able to drop to part-time and be home with their kids more. Or maybe they're supplementing, or paying off credit cards. The next level is gold. From here on, every level you add an additional leg. So gold, for instance, is 35,000 with 3 legs of 6. In that, your average monthly check is $65.27, which equates to over $78,000 in a year. So, I mean, I think most people would just be doing Young Living at that point. The next level from there is platinum, and the average platinum check per month is $15,700, which equates to almost $189,000 a year. The next from there is diamond, and the average monthly diamond check is $32,000. Okay, and so that was the kind of activity I did, was list the top 25 things to do when you hit diamond. And if you think it would be easy to to write down 25 things you'll do with $32,000 a month, try it, because it's not. Like, I got stuck at, like, I don't know, number 13 or something. To think about, having a check coming in that is that amount every single month, you kind of run out of ways of using the money. And then Crown Diamond, the average monthly check is $57,300 with $688,000 a year. And a Royal Crown Diamond, which is at the top, is $106,000 a month. Equates to almost $1.3 million a year. Okay. So, I know we said with the executives here, we have a couple silvers here, and then I'm at platinum. So, and then if you guys know Vanessa Romero, she's at diamond, and then Lindsay Germont is another one. She's the Oily Angel. She's at Royal Crown Diamond. She's at the top. So it's and she's Lindsay Germont got in, I think, October of 2013. So it's very doable. And I think Vanessa started January of 2014. So, and then I started August of 2014. So it's very doable. And I like showing the income disclosure statements because, to be honest, I was kind of following Vanessa's story in the beginning. And when I started using the oils and saw how great they were, and we were seeing results from them, I started sharing. And then I had people that were interested. And so I helped them get started with their kit. And the thoughts just kind of kept rolling. And I was telling my husband about it. And he was very supportive because he knew that it was very rewarding for me. And he knew that my current job took a lot emotionally out of me. But I think he was like, okay, like this, yeah. But it didn't take long, and I know I shared that with you with your husband. It didn't take long before he started seeing the team grow and seeing the check grow with it. That he said, "Well, yeah, this is something that would be very doable that she could do." So, all right, so that's the income disclosure statement. Training. So let's just say for a moment there's an expert that can help you. Right? Has anybody had a job that you started and there's nobody there to really train you on what you need to be doing? Right? It's like the worst. So that doesn't happen here. It doesn't matter who you started with. It doesn't matter who you're under, what your downline is, what your upline is. If you are interested in doing this as a business, we will get you plugged into the appropriate resources. Okay. So we've got a lot of, there's boot camps. You can get a lot of training just from your upline. There's a lot of online YouTube videos. And so we've got a lot of ways to plug you in to the right resources if you're interested in growing your business. All right. So they just kind of end this. So there's three types of people. There's one that just says, no thanks, I just really love my oils, and you can plug me into any kind of training that I will learn more about the oils. That's completely fine. We know that we have a lot of members that just love their oils and they just use them all the time. There's this two, they're thinking and considering about getting serious, but they want to know more about the training that's offered. And then three, the people that are like raring to go, like sign me up, I'm ready to have my first class and start teaching. So is there anybody that cares to share where they're at in their journey? I do want to just highlight on a few. I've asked Elaine, who is a silver, and Lisa as well, and Franny, who's an executive, to just share their story so that you guys can hear not just mine, because mine is just unique to me, but everybody else has their own story. Everybody starts for different reasons. Everybody gets out of it different things. So I wanted you guys to hear from them as well. Is there anybody that cares to share what they want to do with their checks that they're going to get as their business grows? Yeah.
I think what works for me is I don't focus on the next goal. I'm not hyper-focused on the ranks. I'm more focused on reaching out to people, making it personal. And I've been doing this about a year now, and the growth has been slow, but it's steady. It's going, it's going, it's going. I still have to put forth the effort, but it's kind of happening on its own. It's like you catch a wave and you just go with it. But I'm enjoying it more than I've ever enjoyed anything because I believe in this. I'm not out there selling encyclopedias or something I couldn't care less about. I I just start talking to people and conversations lead to classes and invitations and the most rewarding thing though, and I know Julie's mentioned it before too, is when somebody contacts you back and said, oh, you know, the pain cream you gave me helped me so much, or I've had Crohn's disease for so long I can't function anymore, and the oils that you put together in those capsules for me really helped. And these people are emotional when they're telling you that. So that just spurs me on more than the commission checks or anything. This man, I really helped her on to the next. So that's what's driving me. I mean, the commission checks are nice and they're getting nicer. But what motivates me to keep going and spend the hours at my computer and schedule the classes are the people and what they tell me. Not to mention that I've seen how they've worked in my own life and my husband's life. So it's the easiest job I've ever had.
Oh yeah, and most rewarding. I mean, you're really changing. You truly are changing lives. And I always tell people, even if you didn't want to look at the business, if you're talking to somebody and something comes up in conversation, you're really doing a disservice to them by not sharing what you know, even just about the oils. Like, I don't know what oil you should use for that, but let me connect you with somebody that does, because these oils truly are life-changing and can impact somebody's life more than you know. So share with, I mean, it always comes up in conversation with just random. I mean, I took my kids to gymnastics this afternoon, and there's a room full of moms waiting for their kids, and it's just amazing how many things come up in conversation, like teething babies, and I mean, just a whole array of things. One gal had an infected elbow. So I mean, it comes up all the time, and so it's kind of like, I almost feel like it's my duty. Like, I've got to share these amazing things with people. Like, they can't miss out on this. So, okay. Anybody volunteer to go out of you three first? Do you want to come up and be on here, or do you want to just talk from your seat, or?
Talk from your seat.
You wanted to talk from your seat? Okay.
I can go first.
Okay. I'm going to at least move our recorded one.
Am I on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is Lisa Zinkel.
Yes.
And
Hello, everyone. I have been using essential oils for a year now. A year, actually, like 2 days ago. The reason I started was, at the time I had a very restless 4-month-old baby. I mean, she's my second child, so my first one was a breeze compared to this one. She just would not sleep unless I was in the rocking chair holding her all night long. So I was kind of at my wit's end. I was ready to get back in my own bed. I mean, ever since she was born, she was just real herky-jerky, never really gotten like a good deep sleep. So I was like, what's going on here? So Google search, researching stuff, I kept coming across lavender essential oils. I didn't really know the slightest thing about essential oils. I thought they were just something that kind of smelled good. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't realize that there was therapeutic grade oils. And I had a friend that was using them and was using Young Living and really benefiting from them. And so she suggested that, we go ahead and get a kit. She was telling me all about that. So me and my husband did our own research and kind of looked into things and decided to get one. It was very helpful in that situation with our daughter, among many other things. Shortly after I got my kit, I remember going to Julie's 101 class, and it was just amazing. Everything just kind of clicked. I mean, everything she was going over. I mean, just the fact that she was talking about how toxic, all of our household cleaners are, and beauty products, toothpaste, that we're putting in our mouth every day. I mean, that was stuff I never really knew about. So it was just really eye-opening to me. And then with having 2 small children, I didn't want, the toxic cleaners all over the house, or constantly putting the toxic products on our bodies or in our mouths or all that. So I just really learned a lot from that class and dove right in. Sarah and Elaine, I think, started like a month or so before me. We're all good friends. And so that was kind of nice having, and we all have babies the same age. So we kind of all dove in together, learned together, helped each other. Because it can be very overwhelming at first. The possibilities are just endless with these oils. I learned something every day. like long, it seems like.
Still do, right?
Yeah, so it was just really nice having them there as a support, learning how to use it on my kids and things like that. And we kind of just were really gung-ho from the get-go, all three of us. We started doing, like I said, we started last year in January. I think in February we had our first monthly make and take. So every month we have a make and take class that's been a really good turnout, where people come and we teach them how to make DIY products, with the oils. They go home with the recipes and the products. So that's been a really big hit. We also do kind of team up with each other and go to different areas and teach one-on-one classes, once or a couple times a month, sharing with as many people as we can. I mean, it's very hard sometimes getting people to these classes. They'll say they'll be there and they don't come, or you work on them and you get really excited and then they don't come. But you really got to stick with it because, it really does pay off. And like you said, it's just so rewarding when you get those stories back from people about how they are helping them. Last year, during the summer, Julie and I had a wonderful opportunity with Parker Hannafin. It was a company, that's where Sue works. They had a wellness benefit for their employees. They unfortunately don't have it anymore, but they reimbursed them 80% for all of their essential oils purchased. So that was an excellent opportunity. We were able to reach and help a lot of people, and we still, I think, are constantly always talking with them and, helping them use their oils and benefit from them. Just last week, I spoke with 2 people from my downline, like you were saying, with the Crohn's and stuff. I had a lady, her daughter had really horrible, she's very stressed and has bad anxiety, and she broke out on her trunk in really bad hives. Well, she went to the doctor. They can't really do anything for hives. So she put lavender and coconut oil on and, got really instant relief, was calling me very thankful, for her lavender for that. Then I had my aunt last week. She said, you have those oils. Is there anything that can help me with these migraines I've been having? So I gave her some peppermint oil. She called me later that night thanking me. She's like, I haven't felt this great in weeks. My migraines finally gone. So I think that right there, that's just a huge rush for me. It's very rewarding. It definitely keeps me, I get a lot of no's. I have no interest. But, that was 1 or 2 or 12 or 20 people you're helping and hearing from. It's a great feeling. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I work very part-time just to kind of get out of the house and keep my sanity. So this has been a really big blessing for our family. We actually haven't spent any of the money that I've made last year. We're saving up for our dream camper. So it's kind of nice to hopefully be able to we're big campers, buy that camper this summer. And it just feels really good for me to be able to contribute to my family and then hopefully, let our dreams become a reality. And I'm just really excited. Like I said, we're all really motivated. And it's nice having them as a support, and Julie, and we're just a really big team. And I just can't wait to see what the future holds with Young Living. It's been a great journey so far.
You want to go next?
Sure. My name's Elaine, and I got started with Young Living last November, at the end of October, early November. And Julie had been telling me about it for a while, and I kind of was like, I have no clue what she's talking about. I didn't know anything about essential oils. But I had just had a baby in September, and like Lisa was saying, Sarah, Lisa, and I were definitely all motivated by our children, and I just didn't want all these. I started learning about these different toxic chemicals and things like that, and I didn't want all this stuff in my house, for my brand new baby to be exposed to. And so Julie came and taught a class for me, and it just kind of I really had no interest necessarily in getting involved in business. I just thought, let's see what these oils are. She came and taught a class, and we had a really good turnout. And Sarah came and decided that she better get doing it too. Yeah, we have babies 10 days apart. So we were like, yep, we had to get on board. But got started with oils, and then Julie started teaching me how to teach classes, and definitely wasn't confident about that at first. And, then you just kind of get comfortable with it. And then I got the girls, and our team has just continued to grow. And so we've got a lot of great people on our team and do a lot of stuff together. Like Lisa said, sometimes you have bumps along the way, but we had one make and take we were really all excited about, and nobody, one person showed up, but that one person, she signed up. Yeah, she signed up. So, every exposure you get out there and sharing, it really does make a difference for people. And she was this lady that signed up at that class was so excited to get involved. And then at some of our last Megan Takes, we've had like 27 and more people. I mean, it's just gotten crazy. We run out of space. But I hit silver in April, and I've kind of watched Julie's journey as she's grown with it, and thought like, wow, it's so amazing how she gets to these different goals. And then, as I'm achieving those goals too, it's really exciting. But hit silver in April, and I've been able to leave my job actually in May. I had worked a job for 7 years, and this really stressful and kind of draining job, and was able to leave that job and take a different job with more flexibility. So haven't got to leave that yet, but that's a goal. But able to leave a different job and continue to do the oils. And then my partner has also been able to go back to school and take a cut from his job and go back to school to further himself, and we can still support our family. So the commission checks definitely help us to do that. And then also just to continue to be able to, buy more product, even just to share with others, and be able to have more things on hand, which is really nice too. But yeah, it's been a great experience, and excited for our teams to keep growing and to keep moving into the future.
Thank you.
My name is Franny. I started, I was having a lot of medical issues and for years, and I kept going back to the doctor, and they would say, your thyroid, it's your thyroid, it's your thyroid. And every time they would put me on Synthroid, and they would bump it up every single time I went. I also had to go to a specialist for other reasons, and they told me, eat organic. We just want you to eat organic. We want all the processed food out of your house. And I'm like, okay. So me and my husband, I went and cleaned out all my cabinets, and my husband about had a stroke. We went to the grocery store, and he told me we were feeding the deer, and he quit. And so we did that for like 2 years, but I was still on these medications all the time. And I kept thinking something's not right. I'm not eating any chemicals. I'm eating all organic, but I'm still putting chemicals into my body every single day because the doctor tells me I have to. So I had been complaining about it to everyone that would listen about how these doctors would just kept telling me to take more medicine, and I was tired of it. And it costs money. Every time you go to the doctor, it costs money. Every time you get a new prescription, it costs more money. So I had said something to a friend, Jen, and I'm like, I'm just so tired of taking pills every day. I'm in my early 30s. I should not be on medication every day. So she had me she had said something, go to me with this. And I'm like, okay. And then I talked to Jill, and I just said something about Hashimoto's. She's like, oh, well, here, you can try this. And so I thought about it. And I'm one of those people, I can't just jump into something. I have to know exactly what I'm getting into. So I did my research on the oils, and I kept going back and forth. There were different kinds, and I was doing more research. And of course, you always see negative things, and everything was when I'm like, you know what? I have to do something because I don't want this anymore. My hair was still falling out. My skin was a mess, and there really was something to you. So I started the oils, and within, I want to say like 4 weeks, my hair quit falling out, and I'm like, oh, my hair started growing back. And then I branched out. Then my husband, I'm like, oh, I can fix you. I can fix everything. I can help you with this. I can help you with sleep. I can help you with your anxiety. So I started with him. And in the meantime, I used to live up in the UP for many years. And I had to travel back up to the main office. And I walked in the door, and one of my workers looked at me and said, what are you doing? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you look great. And you look, you've got a glow about you. You're happy. And I'm like, oh, I've been using oils. And that's exactly how I said it. She goes, well, what oils? And so I kind of started telling her more. And she's like, why aren't you telling anyone else about this? And I was like, well, I didn't really think about it. Because honestly, I love my job. I have a great job. I work for a great company. So I heard of people making money with it. I did that. I'm like, I don't have any interest in that because I just use them. Well, then it branched from her, and then it went to my mom, who's crazy about them. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And I remember talking to Julie and I'm like, well, I just don't know if I can actually do this. I don't know. And then I went home and I looked at my husband and I said, what would we do? I don't want to quit my job. So what would we do? He goes, our dream. I'm like, a farm? He's like, yeah. Our dream has been for the last 5 years to have our own organic farm, because up in the UP, there was no resources to get organic stuff. We literally had to drive 2 hours to do our main grocery shopping. So with that, that's always been our dream, is to have an organic farm. So now we are actually, I've only hit executive.
Say only. She said executive. That's an accomplishment.
I've hit executive and we are clearing land. My husband had started the chicken coops. We are getting our chickens in March. And hopefully I will continue to grow. And with that, my husband will be the one quitting his job because he will be more than happy to do that. So he will be quitting, and we're doing this as a team, which makes it wonderful. The biggest thing for me, the biggest reward for me, and I get emotional every time I talk about it, because the things it's done for me is amazing. The things it's done for my husband, I couldn't be more thankful. But what it has done for other people in my life, my nephew struggles with ADHD. He's done horrible in school. This year, he has his little oil that he keeps with him. And he doesn't like to talk. He's a boy. He's 10 years old. He does not like to talk about feelings. He doesn't like to talk about stuff. But I asked my aunt, I said, how is he doing in school? She said, he's gotten no pink slips. I'm like, well, that's great. That's a plus. So I asked him, I said, hey, how are you doing with school this year? And he goes, you know what, Franny? And I said, what? And he goes, that little bottle you gave me gives me the most confidence, just a little bit more when I walk into those doors. My heart just sunk. A few months ago, I started I was interested in Raindrop. I have a family member who has MS. I have watched him decline for years. It's been very emotional on the family. It's hard to see him go from being fully functional to not able to work. He was having problems with walking. He has other things that come along with MS, which MS is not pretty. So I had talked to Julie about the Raindrop, and we came to the class, and that day he hasn't felt his feet in 4 years. Just think about something as simple as not feeling the bottom of your feet. Every night he had to check for sores on his feet. And that day he said, I kind of feel her fingers. And I'm like, oh, well, that's good. The second one we did at home, he goes, Brandy, I feel your hands. I feel your hands on my feet the entire time. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm not going to get too excited about this. We're just going to watch this. He felt his feet that entire week. He could feel them when he walked the whole time. I go for the third week. He can still feel his feet. But the biggest thing for me was this man lives in pain. About a 7 every day. And sometimes some of us can barely stand a 7. Every single day. His pain went down to a 4 and sometimes a 3. He had no flare-ups during this time that we were doing that, which he was having flare-ups every other week. So for me to see what this has done for the ones I love most in this world has been amazing. And I'm reaching out to other people and to see how it's changing their lives. I have an array of people. I've got people that are the emotional support it's given. One of my people that has cancer is just amazing. You know, she wants to get up every day. She wants to put on her oils every day. So to me, that part is what drives me. The money is nice because it's helping us achieve our dreams, and it's also helping us. We're going to be able to supply organic food to people that we love, that you don't have to do chemicals. You can do things this way. So it's really overall improved our lives tremendously so far. And I just started actually selling at the end of August, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Beginning of September is when I really started like even thinking about it. So, and I didn't think I would even know enough people. And then you realize that you tap into other things that you actually do know quite a few people who really are starting to churn their thinking and they don't want the chemicals. They don't want to put things, they don't know what it is inside their body. We're becoming more aware, which I think is amazing. And one of my soon-to-be team members is a pharmacist, so that and that's big for us.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Does anybody else have anything they would like to add? We'll kind of I'll stop the recording.
One thing that I like about our group is some of us, maybe we can't get out to teach classes, but we still want a business built. One thing that I really appreciate about our group is that they're always willing to teach the person for you. And okay, just send somebody to the class and I'll make sure that they get on your leg. So I like that as opposed to some of the other direct selling businesses that I've been involved in. So it's a very family-like feeling.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right, I'm gonna stop that. We've got like 5 viewers online. I know that they can ask questions, but I don't know exactly where it pops up. Does anybody else have any kind of either business questions or just something? So this was just, we wanted to do a business opportunity just to talk about that potential, and then we can plug you into training if you want to learn more about the actual business and then how to get going. So,
I have a question.
Yeah.
So over like Christmas break, I had a week or so off, and I started making like aromatherapy candles and for Christmas gifts. Pain cream for my mom, sleepy time cream for my nephew, and it's something that I really enjoyed doing. So I guess my question is, can you take those products and then sell those products, or is it something that you have to, as well as promote at the same time?
If you read, it's great for everybody, if you have your own business, to read the policy and procedures that are outlined by Young Living.
Okay.
You can make your own products. You cannot, it's kind of like, I don't want to say strongly discouraged, but for the most part, most people work their business in terms of sharing, and then getting people to have their own kit and then teaching them, either sharing recipes and teaching them how to make their own stuff.
Okay.
But if you do make your own stuff, you just can't have anything on the label that says Young Living. Like you can't say, made with Young Living essential oil, or you can't have anything that says that it's a Young Living product.
Okay.
Which to me is kind of a bummer, because we all know that Young Living is the best quality oils that you can purchase. So if you were going to buy a homemade product like that, you would love to know that it was made with.
For instance, if like you took some of your products to a craft show and then as well had part of your booth set up for promoting your Young Living business, is that?
Yeah, it's your call. It's your own business. I would say if the products are sitting at your Young Living table, it's safe to say that they're made with Young Living products. So, it might be a risk you take. I don't know. Somebody could turn you in and say, oh, they're selling, they could prove it, but
it's putting Young Living liable.
Yeah.
If someone were to have a reaction, which obviously is slim to none, but it could possibly happen, then it's putting Young Living that is liable if we do that. We can give them away.
You can give them
Give
away.
them away.
Yeah. So like at vendor events, we oftentimes have pain cream samples that are there. You can make it up and then you make these little pods, and with one batch of pain cream that you mix up, you can get like 50 of these little pods. And so you can mix them up, and I put a little label that has all the ingredients in it, and then I will give those away to anybody that wants to try it, or anybody who's got pain. And people will come back asking you what it is, because it really works. So yeah, you can give away anything that you want or that you make.
People like free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Does anyone else have an issue with the social, I can't talk, security number? I actually had probably a good 5 people not sign up because of that. Is that something that's always going to be a requirement, or are they thinking about maybe doing
It will always be. It's not even Young Living. It's not even a requirement by Young Living. It's a requirement by the federal government or the IRS. So I just had somebody in the year and a half that I've been doing this, I've had it come up maybe a half a dozen times. And of those half a dozen, I've only had one that actually walked away and said, I'm just not. So I always, I mean, it is something that people will say, well, why do you need my social security number? I'm not going to do this as a business. And I just had somebody else contact me about the same question. It's a valid point from the member, but with, over 100,000 new members joining every single month, there's no way the IRS could track down people. Say 5 years from now, they decide they lost their job. And now they're like, well, I love my oils. I've been using them for 5 years. I might as well do this as a business. And then the IRS would have to track down these people. So it's not a Young Living thing. It's an IRS requirement. There's no way around it. I do tell people you can eat oils and use them secretly in a desk drawer and never tell another single soul. And that's completely fine. And if you're not going to use it as a business, it doesn't matter anyways, but you have to put that in to get your membership. They can get online and apply for a tax ID number. I think it's definitely free, and I think you instantly get your tax ID number. Yeah, so it does not take long to do. And if somebody feels more comfortable doing that, then that's definitely one way of doing it. I always stress too that we're over a 21-year-old company and we've never had a security breach. That's important, but I mean, really, with technology these days, and I mean, this information is out there. I mean, your social security number can be taken in more ways than probably more likely in other, other ways than through your Young Living account. But they've never had a security breach. And like I said, typically when I explain it to people, they understand why it's there, and then they usually agree with it.
I think our group, because I've seen where Lisa has had a problem, I think we just need to get better at giving them the route of the EIN number.
We always
I've
do.
tried.
Yeah.
Two people.
So like, how much paperwork do they have to fill out for that? Because there is a
I think it's just
online.
It's just online, and I think it's just a quick form.
okay, and you get it instantly.
You get I open business. I work for a credit union, so I open business accounts for people. And they come in and they don't have that EIN, and I can turn my computer around, get it for them in 5 minutes. It's literally that easy.
Yeah, because I've run into that issue quite a bit.
Yeah, we've suggested it. We've ran across that, but then nobody's
I think
taking
what
us up
I'm
on that.
saying is we suggest it to them. We need to take it to the next level. Like, hey,
pull it
I'll
up.
go online for you. Let's do it real quick. Hey, can we meet next Tuesday?
And that's what they even have up like on the background screen or
Right.
something.
And
To
a
carry
card.
over to them.
Yeah, just like a link, like boom, click it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Right. They're
It
like, oh,
does
great.
come up though, and people will hesitate at that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
did.
started mentioning it at the end of my classes just to kind of give people a heads up. They will ask you for your social security number,
That's a good idea.
and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why you don't need to be concerned about it. And I've only had one person that
Completely
wouldn't
didn't.
go through.
Well, we had a lady that just had her identity or something stolen.
Yeah, that wasn't
And then we're like, well, you put your debit
Yeah,
card
whoa,
in
too
when you
much.
get gas, right? You're just as susceptible to it.
Yeah, I always tell everyone at the end of my class that they do ask for it, and I did see where you could. I haven't had anyone say no.
Especially if they don't sign up at class, if they say, I'm gonna go home and do it, and they run into that and you're not there to answer their questions, it may result in them walking away. So I think giving them a heads up is helpful.
Any other questions? I see we have 5 people online. I don't know if you guys are able to see a chat. If you have any questions, it's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can always send me messages too.
I have a question.
Mhm.
When an account is gonna go inactive, do they have to the end of the month?
It will go inactive the middle of the 13th month, roughly.
On the 13th.
Yeah, so if like they ordered their starter kit on December 1st, their account would go active like the mid-January.
Okay, so the following.
Mm-hmm.
And then that $50 minimum, is that a group, like, all at one order?
Yeah, no, it actually, so you can, and this is a good question because I actually just had somebody that was going to reactivate. So I'm going to share this with everybody here because when I called to reactivate your account, customer service, and I will say this was on January 2nd, and so leadership line was closed. So there is different tiers to customer service, and we have like our regular customer service, which I still think is phenomenal, but it's more of like the newer train, and then there's leadership line. So as you gain rank, you gain access to additional resources for your customer service. Like there's no wait times, and you're talking to people that have been with Young Living for a long time. And so I was just on the regular customer service, and she said, "Great, can I help you place her order for her starter kit?" And I said, "Well, she already has her starter kit. She just wants to reactivate her account and get some additional oils." And then it came up like, "Oh, that was just like a promo we were running." And I said, "Well, as long as I've been a part of Young Living, you can reactivate your account for a 50 PV order." So that was always I always thought it had to be a 50 PV order to reactivate your account. There's no minimum order to reactivate your account. So if you have somebody, so for those that are new that don't even have people yet, when somebody enrolls with their account and gets a starter kit, and this is what I say at the end of all my classes. I always tell people, okay, if you want to incorporate this in your lifestyle, you can get your own account with your own username and password specific for you. You can sign in whatever you want, order whatever you want, and get shipped directly to you. And I'm here as your resource to educate and empower you on how to use your oils safely. And I tell people, the only thing a wholesale account guarantees you is that you get a 24% discount. Okay, because we know 92% of the people that enroll with Young Living do so just to get the 24% discount. Okay, there's only 8% of us that want to do anything with the business. Okay, so I always want to say that's the only thing it guarantees you. And I say there's absolutely no required selling. You're never gonna get pressure. Nobody's gonna come knocking on your door asking if you're talking to people about oils. So there's no required selling. There's no monthly minimums. Okay, that to me is important to point out because there are some companies that require you to order something every single month. Now, most of us here know about the awesome Essential Rewards program. So I do say there is a member loyalty program that's fabulous, but it's completely optional and it's free to sign up for whenever you decide that it might be right for you. So there's no monthly minimums and there's no annual membership fee. So very different, like Sam's Club, you have to pay like $150 just to hold on to your card to walk through With Young Living, you can have your wholesale account for the rest of your life for a minimum order of 50 PV. And when you get your starter kit, that fulfills your first year. So you wouldn't need to spend another penny until that month 13. Okay, but when you reactivate an account, I always thought it was a minimum order of 50 PV. You can actually reactivate your account there's no minimum, but then they would have to place 50 PV in that year. And does not necessarily have to be in one order. It can be accumulative. Okay. However, if you run about to go inactive report, it doesn't flag that. It will flag like if there's no orders over 50.
Okay, because she got her kit in January of last year. She placed an order like in the summertime, I think for maybe like $25 or $30. And so if she were
just another 25 or 20 to 25 before February, mid-February.
Okay.
Yep. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a couple people on my team that they signed up, but then they either signed up wrong for retail and never got a kit, or signed up and never got a kit. But now talking about strategic placement.
Too late.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
After 20 days, you're done.
From the start of the account.
So now it's been almost a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're way past that. So I was talking to Sarah about it, and I was like, well, I want to start, maybe building, Miranda. So start looking at those second tiers. What can we do for those people? Can we cancel we signed up, we didn't do anything, can we cancel those and get them moved on to an appropriate leg?
But they already started their account. So I think even because I know what you're talking about, because they're retail, even if we switched them over to wholesale, which they're planning on doing this month, they still have to stay where they're at, right?
Well, yeah. So
I mean, they've never done. They just went on and were like, "Oh yeah, I think we'll get an account." And then
so I typically,
retail,
yeah, typically, if you have somebody that either signs up accidentally or signs up as a retail customer because they want to try it first, which there's not very many people that do the retail, because why would you pay 24% more if you could save? But you just call customer service and with the member number and PIN and say, we want to flip it over to a wholesale account. I have seen people where they've started a retail account and then they realize they did it wrong, and then they go back in and do a wholesale account. And then we send mail to duplicates@youngliving.com and we say there's 2 accounts, please cancel the retail account. And so it might be feasible. So
What's duplicates at?
youngliving.com.
Is that just for retail?
Someone transferring from retail to wholesale.
Yeah, or not transferring, because if you can transfer, you can keep the same member number and everything. It just flips over to a wholesale account. It's if somebody enrolls as a retail customer and they're like, "Ooh, I did that wrong," and they go back all the way to square one and they start a brand new account, and then now they have 2 member numbers.
I think I still have someone that has an active account, but also has an account that's on hold.
Okay, so yeah, you could send a duplicate.
Because I will, a year ago or whatever, 9-10 months ago, it was really confusing, and we were having people that would get confused in the whole retail and wholesale. Now that they've changed the whole
the way the
enrollment
when you enroll
setup is definitely
Do you need their username and PIN and
member number and their
member
PIN.
number?
Yeah. But if you're flipping to a wholesale, in their social security number, because they wouldn't have had to put that in for retail account.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
Well, that might be the answer to your social security question. They can always sign up for retail.
Yeah, but then they can't get a kit. Right?
Correct. Can't get a starter kit with it. But they could do diffusers and individual oils. Pay a lot more.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, then they never have the opportunity for a downline to help them.
Right. Nope. All right.
So one thing I like about the Young Living is you can do it from anywhere. Like I do a lot of it over Facebook or whatnot, and then there's other groups that have online events. So say you're going in for surgery, you're sitting in your hospital room and you're like, what do I do now? That would be an opportunity for you to start working on your Young Living business, just reaching out to Facebook people or, hey, would you be interested? And I'll send you an invite to
I went to
class.
set up my bank account for Young Living like you did, Sarah, and I was talking to my banker and she ended up signing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was depositing in the beginning. Once you hit Senior Star, you can direct deposit your checks, which is really nice. And it's super easy. You sign into your account, you go to My Preferences, you find this little direct deposit, you put your credit union name, the routing number, and your account number, and it's done. Bam, your checks are. But before, that was a possibility because back when I started, I don't think you could direct deposit until you were maybe executive. So it was before I was executive, and I was going to the credit union to deposit my checks, and I was go through drive-through. So I'm not even at the station, and she's like, these checks smell amazing. I'm like, what oils? I said, I don't even I don't know, the Endoflex I put on this morning, maybe the Valor that's on me. You don't even, I don't know. There's opportunities everywhere, but in terms of doing this business anywhere. So as an example, and as you grow, and we're talking about those checks that come monthly, and do that activity where you try and write down the top 25 things you'll do when you hit diamond, which is $32,000 a month, because you'll have your whole list and you're like, okay, now what? Because you're getting $32,000 every single month. So now what are you going to do? No, and so you literally, because this business can be remote, you might be I might be, this is my dream, maybe you guys don't have this dream, but I might be in my home in the Caribbean somewhere running my business through the winter months here. And so, yeah, you're right. You can live my dream too. Yeah. And so you're right. I mean, we take an annual trip to Cancun in April and we go for 2 weeks. And so The 2 weeks that I was there, I taught 4 classes. One was in the pool. There was 10 people. Everybody was in the pool. I was on the side. We were passing all the oils around. And I mean, I still had internet access. You can still be there for your team. You still support. You can still be doing customer service stuff because there's live chat. And so you can be tropical. You can be out of the country and still run your business and support your team in doing that. So yeah, that's another great flexibility of this business. So
You never know where you're going to plant a seed.
no,
I
you
talked to a
don't.
lady, we just went on a cruise in November, and I talked to a lady from Texas over dinner about oils, and I gave her my card, and I won't hear from her. She just enrolled and ordered a kit.
Oh, awesome.
And I've been Skyping with her, and we kind of did a one-on-one class because I wanted her to have the basics. But you just never know.
You don't.
Everybody's interested. Everybody's on the essential oil bandwagon, and they're hearing all about it from everybody. So if you can give them good information, they'll come back to you when they're ready to do it.
Well, Franny enrolled whenever, November, December, and I get this call out of the blue in like August or September, August, I think. So you just, I mean, you never know when people come back and say, I've loved my oils, and I mean, you just never know what somebody's situation is. Or even somebody like, say, for instance, Franny maybe loved her oils, and then say somebody lost their job unexpectedly, and now what, And so, and we actually have a member on our team that her contract ended and they didn't renew it, and now she's looking at her young living business a little more serious. So it's definitely out there. You hear stories all the time. Like my husband lost his job, so now it was up to me. So this opportunity has blessed many lives, and I can really tell you that I'm honored to have everybody on my team, and I'm in awe when I get to see how it's changed all of your guys' lives too. So it's a pretty cool feeling.
I have something to say.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here quiet, soaking this up this whole time because I have severe medical issues. Can't tell by looking at me. Not a single one of you would be able to ever guess what's wrong with me. But you planted a seed in me, and I want to say that I'm ready. I'm ready now. I'm ready to.
You'll have a huge. You could really focus on.
That's why she probably said the hospital thing, because I'm going to the hospital next Tuesday for 3 weeks. I'll be at U of M.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be hospitalized. My surgery is next Tuesday. Actually, I have 9 coming, but next Tuesday is the big.
The first one?
No. Actually, I had
the first of 9, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not MS, but I have cognitive regression syndrome, and I have spina bifida myelomeningis. So I suffer from, when I was born, my bladder, my bowel, my kidneys, my right kidney, they were all dead. So I self-catheterize. I self-catheterize for my urine and for my bowel. It's the only way I'd ever go. I have had 23 reconstructive surgeries. My leg, that's why I have crutches. I just had 6, and I had the Achilles lengthening done. So that was 18 plus So, I'm somebody that...
You don't have your kit yet, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. Because I was one of those people that was like, no, this is not going to work. I've never tried it yet, but I'm going to be in awe because I take 33 medications a day, and they don't work. And that's why I'm getting all these surgeries that are coming, like having my kidney removed next Tuesday. It died when I gave birth. Surprisingly, I have a 6-year-old son who's healthy and fine, but my kidney died from that pregnancy. So I'm having it removed next week. Having my stomach reconstructed and everything. So I'm really excited to try those.
Yeah.
I did have to quit my job. It was not something I wanted to do, but I've probably seen many of you. I was a waitress at Main Street in Madawan. And you've probably seen me a lot. Yeah, that's probably where you've seen me from. Yeah. But I worked at Main Street. They were really good to me. They really helped. A lot of the managers there, I had to go talk to somebody and say, okay, this is what I have. You're going to work with me. And they did up until I got sick. I got hospitalized in July. I get septic. And when I get septic, infectious disease has to come in because I went through cardiac arrest too. So, I'm really wanting to try these. And I would be somebody for sure that would be to tell you if they work.
Right.
Like with the not being able to feel your feet, can't either. I don't have feeling from here
I
down.
know, and you're going to be in the hospital when we do the next raindrop.
Yeah. So like, I haven't done a start. I'll be honest with you, I haven't done a starter kit yet, just because of my financial situation. I haven't worked since July,
Right.
so I have no income, no social security, no DHS, no nothing, zero. So I am fighting with social security right now. Just went to a lawyer today, but yeah.
This could-
So like,
that-
I'm so excited to try.
It
these.
could
Like, I'm
bless
just
you.
sitting here listening to everybody. Like, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you very much.
I mean,
She was generous enough. I reached out to her because I saw that she was having a class at Main Street, and I was like, well, I know Main Street, you know. And then she came to my house and did a one-on-one with me, and that's why I'm here. And she brought me today.
and I know
Thank
you've
you.
touched her life already. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we went through the income disclosure statement. I mean, it's real in terms of not just replacing your income that you've lost from having to leave your job, but in blessing you 10 times that, and
I've
then
been
you being
praying
able
God
to do.
to bring me something, and I think that you were it. So.
Yep.
I know. Show me.
Right? This business doesn't come without tears. This business does not come without tears, because when you start changing people's lives and you get that feedback, it just, I mean, I remember reading emails at my computer and just like tears going to my face. My husband's like, what's wrong? I'm like, read this. Like, this is why I do what I do. This is why I stay up at night and research. This is why, you know, I miss some evenings with my kids, but I'm doing, I mean, there's a very good reason for it. And when I joked about them being my assistants, like, just wait for them to get a little bit older. They would much prefer to be down here passing around oils to see which ones you like, and they'll tell you which ones they like. And yeah, they'll be a big part of this whole thing. So it'll be kind of a family affair probably at some point.
2-year-old run up and be like,
Exactly.
Like, okay, what
Kids,
do you
yeah,
want today?
kids love essential oils, and they pick up to it fast. And I think about the way we're raising our kids. You know, we're not giving them medications. I mean, if they have a fever, we do something with our oils. And so if they have a cough, we've got we've got so many things in our oily arsenal that we can help them with. So we're raising them in a very non-toxic, all natural lifestyle. So
Well, I think sometimes we need to be a little bit creative on how we approach the money situation with people, because not everybody has, $177.
right.
How much is a starter kit with shipping? It $177.25. $177.01 on your card. So maybe, I think how I'm going to tackle 2016 is, when you sign up and 4 of your friends sign up, you'll get $160 back because we give the book. Sarah signed us up for the group membership, so now we're getting our books for $10. So 50 minus 10.
13.
That was for
Is it Christmas or something?
Yeah.
20%, whatever.
Wow.
So now throughout the rest of the year, it's
13.
$12.95.
Yeah.
13. Yeah.
That website is awesome, but
It is.
they have so much stuff.
Mhm.
They do.
KRE
Sorry.
Publishing.
No,
Yeah.
LSP,
So, Life Science.
Life Science Publishing.
KRE Publishing is pretty cool too.
Yeah, they do.
Because Heather keeps, where'd Julie get that little diffuser from with the bubbles and stuff? I know you want that one.
Oh, yeah, that was at Aroma to Go.
It was at KRE. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, $60. But
Okay.
okay, so I guess what I was back to my original point before I forget it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. How you go back and refigure out the math, but when you and 4 of your friends sign up, your kit would be less than $30. So that was another question: is if they sign up and then 4 of their friends sign up right underneath of them, then would they get commission that month?
They'll get commission. I mean, if it's in January, the commission will be calculated and the check is like around February 20th.
Right.
So
So I
We've
think
talked
it's
about that.
delayed.
Have to be the same month though.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could say, as a hostess benefit, I'm doing that joint deal with Gwen. So I was like, okay, Gwen, as a hostess benefit, when you sign up and 4 people sign up right, because it spits out their number right away. So I don't know if it spits out their number right away, then you can just take that number, right, and
Yeah.
plug in the other
Mhm.
4.
Yep.
and then they would get the majority of their money back in their commission check the next. Which Vanessa, side note, was working on an avenue to speed up that process.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So we were talked about it at, was it Mastermind, about how we felt like if we could get that $25, at least the $25 sign up bonus, maybe the commissions can be later, but at least if we could get that $25 startup bonus in the hands of the people right away, that we thought that it would encourage more. So, because I mean, say you sign somebody up on January 1st, you're not going to see that money for 6-7 weeks because it's not going to be until February 20th, give or take a few days. And so, I mean, if you sign somebody up on January 31st, then it's not bad. I mean, you're getting it 3 weeks later. Right. But if you're signing somebody up at the beginning of the month, then yeah, it is a long wait. And so if people are financially strapped, then it is, ends up being, can be an issue. So yeah, just let us know what you think, how it goes.
That's my strategy.
Anybody else?
Question?
Yeah.
I was asked if the rainstone, that's like the multicolored.
Yep.
Is there an option for just like a solid color?
It is a solid color. You can't, it doesn't go between all the different ones.
The black one doesn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it doesn't alternate. It just.
I don't think mine does.
So if you pick purple,
it stays on purple.
Oh,
but there's multiple colors to choose from.
There's 4.
But it has to stay on that color.
Yeah, I don't think mine.
I had someone come up to me yesterday at work, and she doesn't have a kit. She goes, what do you got for diffusers? She goes, I want one that does multiple colors, but when I get sick of that, I want to just do one solid color. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah,
I can look.
I knew it did one solid, but I thought it alternated the other one. So.
I can go upstairs. I mean, it probably shows on my remote.
And then the Aria, that one does. Can we do solid? I should have.
It's only 3 hours, and the rainstone's 8.
Okay.
So.
But rainstone's not available in the kit right now.
The rainstone goes for 8 hours. Yeah.
Continuous?
Yeah, I gave her info and everything.
Continuous. Yeah.
What is the raindrop you're talking about?
That Brandy was talking about. It is these oils right here. I don't have one on mine either. So it comes with 9 oils. Is it back in stock, Franny? Franny, do you know about the rain? Is it still out?
It's a massage tech.
Last time I checked, it was out.
It's pretty awesome.
So it comes with 9 oils and then 2 carry. It's a kit.
Single oil.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's a whole technique, and it's not what you typically think of a massage. It starts on the feet with a very specific technique, like a fingertip roll, and you start about the ankle, but you do the spine vitaflex point, which goes up the big toe, and you do this finger roll all the way down, and you do it 3 times for every single oil, and then on both feet, and then you turn to the back, and the oil is dropped from about 6 to 12 inches above the body because you don't want to interfere with the energies. And then there's the first thing that you do after applying every single oil is what's like a feather stroke. You almost are touching the person so lightly that you're supposed to cause goosebumps to them. And so it's such a light touch, and you feather the oils, and then you do the outside, and there's a whole technique. And then in between each oil, there's a massage technique, but not like what you typically think of as a massage. But when I was trained, it was another thing that were trained on at Winter Harvest. And one of the gals there had, the gal that I was paired with had rheumatoid arthritis so bad that she couldn't sit for more than 20 minutes. She couldn't walk for more than 20 minutes. She couldn't lay for more than 20 minutes. And her and her husband just taught themselves. It's easy to do. Anybody can do it. You do not need to be a massage therapist. You would have to be licensed as a massage therapist if you charged people. Anybody can learn how to do it, and you can, do it on friends and family, and you just can't charge anybody if you're not a massage therapist. And so her and her husband, they just taught it themselves. Her husband was doing 2 a week on her in the beginning. Now she's just at a maintenance of once a week. She has absolutely no pain from her rheumatoid arthritis. And then a gal in our class in January, she has really bad scoliosis. And when she stands and holds her hands, they're about 4 inches different. She leans over, her the shoulder blades are way different. And she did one technique, and she was within a half an inch, and her shoulder blades were almost equivalent.
Yeah, I have my scoliosis too.
Yeah. Yours with your spina bifida and the scoliosis, you would be a great candidate for the raindrop.
I've always been in pain. Like my pain's like a 5-6. Every time I go to the doctor, they don't ask me anymore.
Yeah, because
it's a part of life.
you're never right.
So how many treatments would you get out of that, or? Okay, so 5.
Any idea?
5 or 6.
5 or 6?
Yeah, I think with Matt's, the 5 was the one beforehand.
Okay.
But there's anyone, if you do have massage therapists, the kit goes out of stock. It seems like everyone wants it. So it's actually cheaper to get the individual after you have the kit, to get the individual oils
And the
for someone
15.
that's doing it all the time. I have a massage therapist that she does them 3 times a week now. So she would have to be ordering a kit like
Every week.
every week. And
Yeah.
that's just, and so we came up and I think it was like $220 something.
Mhm.
And
But that's for 15 ml bottles.
yeah, that's for 15 ml.
Instead of
bottles
5,
that last
except
for
the
3 times.
Ballard. But then when the kit, you used to get the DVD that shows you the whole technique. And I know the FDA, the DVD is no longer in the kit, but we have training classes and like.
So there's a starter kit and that kit, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So there's the 2 kits.
Oh, there's all kinds of kits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. there's the feelings kit, fabulous for emotional support. There's the Golden Touch kit, which has amazing oils in it. It's a great way to get some of the other awesome out of the starter kit oils. There's
I can choose because what I have wrong with me, I
would
need
just
50
start-
kits.
start a
Like,
kit.
yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah. You
I
start
would
with the
use
starter kit, and
Start with
then
the starter kit.
the raindrop's going to be
the one that we went over.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to start with what we call a starter kit. And so there's the starter kit that Casey went through with you. And then, there's a basic kit, but it's, you don't even get a diffuser. You only get 1 bottle of Stress Away. And so that's the way you want to start. And then, we can help you decide prioritize what's most important and
This
where you
might
need
be
to
a
go.
weird question, but I also have CKD. So
Okay. Great. There's a lot of great things to support kidney function. What's your creatinine? What is your creatinine?
My creatinine is 660. I'm at 60% total function. So I don't know what my creatinine level is. They told me. I have so much to remember. I just know that my EFG or my
Your GFR?
Yeah. Okay, it's at 60.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah. Awesome. So this is safe for that then. Like that's what
I have a girlfriend that's had 3 kidney transplants.
Awesome.
And I mean, when
There is hope.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that.
She got her mom's kidney first, and then had it for 2 years before she started rejecting it. Then got her sister's kidney, and then I think rejected that maybe 2 years, and then got a donor, and it was a perfect 6 antigen match. And when she contacted me about oils, as much as I know that they're safe, like I said, like you're talking to your transplant surgeon first, and he was fine with that as long as they're.
I'm going to that one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's honestly why I was waiting because I didn't know like what I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
I'm on a limited.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that.
All right. If anybody needs to jet, feel free. If anybody wants to stick around and ask questions, I'm happy to stay. I do know that Ashley, we were going to scan you, right?
Okay.
See if it's something that you might know my mom. My mom is Brunson's RN manager. She's the in-home health.
And I was nurse, and
She takes care of everybody.
It's supposed to be like.
Yeah, but she at Lakeview though? Oh.
Yeah, but I was just doing like a small.
What's her name? Thanks for coming, Franny.
With
Oh, the name sounds really familiar.
And I would have
My
to
dad
make
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the name, but when you work at Bronson, that's fine. When you work at Bronson, like you recognize everybody's faces, and you don't have necessarily names. At convention,